Hey guys, what's up? It's JR Cuber, and in this video we're going to be doing an unboxing of some of the new Rubik's brand 2.0 cubes and comparing them to the old ones. So I got this package from the Rubik's website. This is the first time I've ever ordered from them. Came pretty fast. Now the reason why I got a bunch of Rubik's brand puzzles is because the other day I realized that in all my years of making videos about twisty puzzles, I've never made a dedicated video about a Rubik's brand puzzle on my entire channel. And so I thought, you know what, I should change that, because as much as we might love to hate Rubik's or not use their puzzles, I guess, they were the ones that started this whole thing, and we wouldn't be where we were without the Rubik's brand company. So I figured I would just make a video about some of their new, I guess, 2.0 cubes. They have a new 2x2, 3x3, and 4x4. I already have the new 3x3 store-bought cube, but I really wanted to check out their new 3x3 Speedcube, and I also got the old versions of the puzzles as well, because I actually don't have a normal Rubik's brand, like, original 3x3 in my collection, and I never had a Rubik's 4x4. So let's go ahead and take a look. So let's see. Here's the Rubik's Speedcube. This is the Eco Cube, which is just a normal 3x3. They just changed the name, I guess. Here is a normal Rubik's 4x4. Here we have the new Rubik's 2x2. Now, the one Rubik's brand puzzle that I do have is the new 3x3. This is the new 2.0 cube with the tiles, but this is the one that's not adjustable. And this one's okay. It turns relatively well for a Rubik's brand puzzle, I would say. Turns better than the original one did. So yeah, this one's not bad. And I'll kind of talk about why I think this cube is good for non-cubers and just casual solvers in a little bit. So first, let's go ahead and start with just the normal Rubik's brand 3x3. This is in like a real fancy cardboard box. I don't really care about boxes though, so I'm just gonna rip it open. Okay, so as it turns out, this is actually the new Rubik's brand cube. This is not the original. That's actually not great, because I really wanted the original Rubik's brand with the stickers, and on their website it said that this was the original Rubik's brand cube, just in different packaging. So that's a little bit disappointing, honestly. I was really expecting the original one, because I just wanted a normal original Rubik's cube for my collection. Well, I guess I have another one of these. This one definitely doesn't turn as well as my original, or as this one, I should say. But this one's been lubricated, so yeah, this doesn't turn very well. Anyway, let's go ahead and check out the 2x2. Yeah, here it is. First turns. I guess it turns okay. It doesn't have any corner cutting, but you can finger trick it. But yeah, no corner cutting. But yeah, it's I don't know. It feels strange. It's pretty crunchy. It's not the normal size of a 2x2, and that's throwing me off as well. Yeah, I don't know. I think I remember seeing that the mechanism of this was almost like a miniaturized 4x4. But yeah, it's a little bit weird. This one also has the tiles, of course. This is the new 2.0 2x2. And I also never had an original 2x2 as well, so I can't really compare it. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on. This is the 4x4. Now, I'm not sure if this is the stickered one. I can't really tell if this is the stickered one or the new one with the tiles, but I guess we will see very soon. Okay, so I can tell now that this one has stickers. Anyway, here is just the original Rubik's 4x4. I had one of these a long time ago, and it's, I think what yeah, a Rubik's 4x4 is what I learned 4x4 on, but then it broke, and I never got another one, so here we go. Let's go ahead and do some turns. I'm not expecting this to turn great at all, but okay, well, I wasn't expecting it to turn great, but I also wasn't expecting it to turn that bad. Oh my gosh. You gotta really use your wrist to turn that. Oh man. Yeah, that's the Rubik's 4x4. Great. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic. What I'm really kind of excited for is this new Rubik's Speedcube. Here we go. This one pretty much looks exactly the same as this one, except as you can see, there's these little notches in the tiles, so you can pop out the center caps, I guess. Maybe you need like a screwdriver to do that, because I can't really seem to get it. Okay, there we go. Strange that it's a flathead screw and not a Phillips screw. That's interesting. Anyway, okay, so let's go ahead and do some first turns. Well, that's a very weird feeling. It's pretty loose, but at the same time, it's very slow and sluggish. Like, it doesn't want to turn, but when I try and force the turn, the corners like kind of come apart a little bit, and it gives it this very strange feeling. I'm sure that it will perform better if I just lube it a bit, but out of the box, no, this cube is not good at all. I mean, I guess it corner cuts a little bit. Oh man, I think it's too loose. Usually if it's not corner cutting and it does that, it usually means it's actually too loose and not too tight. And it does seem pretty loose. This is actually looser than what I usually keep my 3x3 speed cubes at, and the tensions are very uneven. So the mechanism on this cube is also, I think, identical to on these. And on these, it's just about impossible to get an edge out because the tensions are very tight. You can't really take an edge out, which is very smart actually, and I'll get to that later. So as you can see, there's just kind of this interlocking mechanism with the edges and the corners, and then the centers kind of look like Moyu type centers, like a Weilong or something. But it's got a ball core, as you can see. Yeah, I can definitely tell why it doesn't corner cut very well, and it's because these parts right here are sticking out, and if this was rounded off on the center, then the corner tolerance would be much better, because you know, the edges are going to catch on that center bit that's sticking out. So yeah, there's a couple of obvious design flaws that I can see right off the bat that would inhibit this from being better out of the box, at least. But I don't know, I like the tiles. That's one thing that has I've consistently liked. The shades look nice, definitely, and you know, obviously because they're tiles, they're not going to peel or anything, and they're actually inset into the cube so they don't stick out. These tiles are not at all like CubeSmith tiles, if you guys remember those. They're plastic, and they don't have the same type of like texture that CubeSmith tiles do. So now I want to talk about why I like this new store-bought cube so much, because I actually do, and it's because with a little bit of work, they actually do perform pretty okay. As you can see, this one turns pretty nicely, but I really think this is a good cube for new cubers or just general people who want a Rubik's Cube, because the two things that I'm sure you guys always hear about when you meet a non-cuber is they say, oh, I just peel the stickers off, or sometimes even they'll say, I disassemble and put it back together. And the thing is that this cube inhibits the ability to do either of those things. It's just about impossible to take apart unless you want to break it, and of course you can't take the stickers off because there's tiles. So really what Rubik's has done is made a cube that is impossible to cheat on. So really, if you want to get this thing solved, you have to learn how to solve it, which I think is actually great. It actually kind of forces people to learn how to solve a 3x3 in order for them to solve their Rubik's Cube. And I think that's a very smart move on their behalf, because hopefully it'll make more people want to actually learn how to solve these puzzles and actually get into cubing, which I think is very nice. But overall, Rubik's brand puzzles, as I'm sure most of you know, are really not good. You know, these puzzles really never get used in competitions. They don't compare at all to modern speed cubes, and they're expensive. None of these cubes really perform all that well, and I will say that I am a bit disappointed in the speed cube. I was expecting it to be a bit better out of the box, but Rubik's, I guess, kind of attempted to make a speed cube, but it just doesn't seem like they know much about the properties of a good speed cube and what makes a cube good. Because this definitely is not a cube I would ever use in a competition or as my main or anything like that. And it's just kind of sad to see, because obviously the Rubik's company has been around longer than any other cube companies, and it's been, what, like 40 years now, and they still haven't made a viable speed cube option, which you would think they'd be able to do. But I don't want this video to sound too condescending. Of course, I do have respect for the Rubik's company for creating the Rubik's Cube, and I think everybody should have respect for the Rubik's company for doing that, but in the end, their puzzles really just aren't that great. What I do want to do is work on this 3x3 for a little bit. I want to lubricate it properly and break it in a bit, give it some solves, and come back and kind of tell you what I think about it. Because, right now, just first impressions, it's not that great, but maybe there's potential for it to be okay. So I'm back. I've lubricated the Rubik's Speedcube and I've given it a few solves, and it definitely is better now than it was out of the box. It's much faster, almost too fast. And, I'm going to say this cube is actually not super terrible. At least not as bad as I thought it was going to be. It does have some pretty major catching issues because of that design flaw with the center. And my times are a few seconds slower on this cube than on any other Speedcube. But it's definitely not terrible, and it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, like I said. So overall, I'd say that if you want to get a Rubik's 3x3, this is probably the one to get. It's not available in stores, however, but you can order them online, and it's really not all that bad. It's a pretty decent cube. Plus, it looks really nice. The tiles almost make it feel like a stickerless cube, kind of, which I really do like. As for the other puzzles, though, I don't really like them as much. The 4x4 obviously is terrible. The 2x2 is kind of meh. That one catches quite a bit. It has 0 corner cutting. And the regular stock 3x3 is also pretty good, but not as good as the Speedcube. Overall, this has been a pretty interesting experience for me. It's been a long time since I've used a Rubik's brand puzzle, and it's just been kind of cool to see how far the Rubik's company has come since when they first started. They're definitely making some changes in the right direction. However, I don't think that the Rubik's Speedcube is a viable Speedcube, but like I said, it's a step in the right direction. I don't think Rubik's will ever be a company that will produce Speedcubes that will be used widely by Speedcubers, but there's really nothing wrong with that. Rubik's Cubes are meant for non-cubers or people just starting out, and so I'm really fine with these puzzles. They're gonna look nice in my collection anyway, so I'm happy with them. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this look at some of the new Rubik's puzzles. If you guys liked it, give it a like, and if you haven't already done so, like my Facebook page, follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and of course subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.